Restore It Ralph channel. Today I've got to do some repairs to my pickup trucks.
If you're a Dodge guy, you're probably aware of the wiper bushings in both old square body first gen Rams and these Dakotas. And this one seems, well, it's got some slop in it. This one definitely has a bunch of slop, and it was delaying the application of the passenger wiper blade versus the driver's. So I've had these apart before and replaced bushings. I thought I replaced all of them, but some of the bushings are cheap plastic and they don't last very long. So I'm going to pull this apart, see what actually is broken, and go from there. This is the old Chrysler style wiper arm where you lift up on here on the arm, and then there's a little tab. If I can get it out one-handed here. Okay, so that retainer clip gets locked against this spring, and it should come off the spline. I did not have that retainer pulled up out of the way one-handed, so now that I've got that out of the way, this thing should pop off the spline. Next, I'll pull these screws out of the cowl trim panel and get that out of the way. I definitely have some slop in the arm that goes from the wiper motor to the driver's side, and then lots of slop in that passenger side one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the whole wiper transmission out as a unit by undoing these wiper pivots and the one nut on the arm on the back of the wiper motor. With this thing on the workbench, you can see that one of the bushings is pretty trashed. This lower bushing is totally gone. So I could have swore. I know I've done these before. I've only owned this truck for 5 years. So they're probably just cheap bushings, which is kind of annoying. This one over here still seems to be okay. But since I've got them all out, I'm going to replace them all. Short of finding NOS bushings from Chrysler, this is the next best thing. These are the nylon version. I've used these in like a white plastic and they don't hold up at all. These aren't great, but they're better than nothing, so I buy them in bulk. So I forgot that this lower bushing, the cross brace, uses a larger bushing. This would have to have a hole in the top of it so it would pass through and the other one would snap on top of it. So I don't have one, so I can't fix this wiper transmission. What I do happen to have is a spare wiper transmission out of one of the parts trucks. So these bushings are not great, but they're better than no bushings. So I'm gonna pop a new bushing on this, put the wiper arm crank back on it, plop it back in there. So I'll be doing this again in, I don't know, 6 months. Great. On these trucks, the cowl trim cover is held on by screws on the front side. There is a little hook right there that this tab right here hooks underneath. And if you don't get that right, it pops up and doesn't fit right. So make sure you hook that in first and then do the screws. I always have to end up adjusting these a couple times to get them where I want them to sit right. But pretty much you just slide it on the splines, pick up on the spring part of the arm and release that little catch piece, and that locks it in place. New annoying creaking noise, perfect. Call this one done for the day. Got working wipers again. Next task for the day is to replace the AC compressor on my diesel. When I loaded up the Dippy for test and tune, the AC compressor gave up, and it seized up. So I unplugged it so it wouldn't accidentally be engaged during defrost or anything like that. But it's time to replace this thing. I have already recovered the refrigerant out of the system, so I don't have to worry about that. Start with pulling the serpentine belt off. On the Michigan trip to go get the Stratus, this thing needed a water pump, so the belt got all slimy with coolant, so I got a new one for that. So I actually replaced this AC compressor about 5 years ago. These through bolts were seized to the compressor. I actually had to take an air chisel and chisel the old compressor off. Hopefully it's not nearly that seized on here this time. New compressor comes with 3 ounces of oil already installed in it. I'm going to drain my other compressor and see how much is in that, so that way I can add a little bit more or take some out if needed. On a failed compressor, I always hesitate to drain oil out of a new one because, well, did it lose the oil and that's why it seized up, or was that the problem? So I personally would rather have a little bit too much oil in the system versus not enough. Shouldn't be surprised after working on a 30-year-old diesel truck. New compressor and belt is on. Time to vacuum this thing down and refill the refrigerant. Under 38 degrees. I'm going to call that a victory. That's back to what this truck normally puts out. This thing is pretty good when it's working. I'm not somebody that has to have working AC in all their vehicles, but on a tow pig like this, it is pretty nice, and I really do dislike it when a car is equipped with something and it doesn't work. It bothers me. Hot Rod Power Tour is coming up in a few weeks, so I need to find out if this is a top contender for going on 3 legs of it. We're going to catch up with it in Indiana and then go to Michigan and Norwalk, Ohio. So do the last 3 legs of it. Still will be quite the trek for any of the vehicles in the fleet. This one's a top contender. This is my 42 Ford pickup truck. It's got a EFI 5.9 Mopar Magnum with a 5-speed manual, overdrive trans, 8 3/4 with 294s in the back, I think, and disc brake swap. But I need to go through this thing and just kind of give it a once over to make sure that it's actually going to make the trip. Oil looked perfect, coolant looks good. This does not have a recovery bottle, so it's down a little bit, maybe down to about there in the tank, which is plenty. That's where this thing always runs. Everything seems to be okay. This might be my cockpit for 3-4 days on the road. I don't have any real worries about this truck. It makes the 62-mile round trip to work often. One downside to taking this on Power Tour is if we hit any rain, all our luggage would likely be in the back because me and my son really can't fit with suitcases up here. So that would be a downside. Hopefully we'd have good weather anyways. This box is nowhere near watertight, so if we have to, we'll put our luggage in trash bags or something like that. If we do hit weather, that could be a downside because this cab is not very sealed up. Water gets in here pretty easily. The other problem is the wiper is a vacuum wiper, so it's running off of manifold vacuum. So it's a single speed original vacuum motor that I took apart and greased and got it working again. That is the wiper, single speed. The more load on the engine, the less vacuum in the manifold, and the slower the wiper goes. That's not necessarily a problem for me. I drive it like this all the time, but if we're going far away, that might be a downside. This thing's a pretty solid rig, so if I decide to take it on Power Tour, I think it'll have no problems. We'll see though. That's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.